You suck at piano because you're pitifully making these pitfalls. Well, us two combined, we have over 50 years of piano experience. And in this video, we're going to tell you the top 5 pitfalls you're making and how to prevent them. So by the end, you'll see how fixing these pitfalls transforms your playing completely.
Let's break it down to a little more specific, not working on your piano technique. Jumping too fast into something that's too hard for you when your fingers aren't ready. We're gonna take it back to, like, I don't know, sports, for example, right? You wanna make sure your body knows how to move in the correct way. Otherwise, if you try to jump into an advanced movement too fast, you could, 1, get injured, 2, not do it properly.
To fully understand this, here's how I play scales and arpeggios when I don't really understand them yet. Now, let's compare that to someone who fully understands scales and arpeggios. This is why scales and arpeggios are so important. Without them, your fingers will fight each other, making your playing uneven and clumsy. It's good enough.
Good enough. See, that's where we differ. I'm not going for good enough, I'm going for great.
Convince me if you think otherwise.
Okay, you can play those arpeggios decently well, right? But you could play them even better if you just practice more arpeggios.
Pitfall number 2.
You have limited knowledge of chord theory. And when I'm talking about chord theory, I'm talking about inversions, talking about the different kinds of chords, major, minor, diminished, dominant.
Why is it important for self-taught pianists to understand chord theory?
If you want to play like pop songs, you have to know which chords are being used, essentially, with each section of the song,
okay.
Right? So I think the number one thing we can try to focus on first, in this case, is inversions, right? Chord inversions. So for example, let's take a simple C major chord. C, E, G, 1, 3, 5. And then all we gotta do is move our bottom note to the top. And again, bottom to the top. And then just keep going like that. Up the keyboard, right?
Okay.
So that's an easy way to, I guess, check if you know your inversions, right? Because inversions are used in songs as well. You're not just playing the root every time. You can, I guess, if you want to do that, but if you want to spice it up a little bit, make it sound a little more complex, you should be changing the inversion.
Pitfall number 3.
Overusing the sustain pedal. So a lot of self-taught pianists, they might think, oh, I press pedal down, I play notes, sounds good.
Would you say it's better to underuse it than to overuse it?
Yes, if you're talking about the two extremes, then it's much better to rather not use it at all.
Now watch what happens as we increase the pedal from 0%. This is where most pianists mess up. So no pedal? 20% pedal? 50% pedal? 70%.
So yeah, at this point it starts to sound a little bit muddy.
And then so, I would say most people do overuse the same pedal, including myself, especially when I'm not sure what note to press.
Exactly, yeah.
I try to cover it with the previous notes.
Yep, you try to cover up your mistakes by holding the pedal down.
Right, so would you say that for anyone who does that, they should always practice with no pedal first?
Yeah, I think ideally, anytime you learn a new song, you never start out playing it with the pedal, right? If you do that, then you might play a wrong note and not notice it at all because it just sounds okay. So for this one, it's more so focusing on using the right motions when you play, right?
Right.
When it comes to using your shoulders and your wrists rather than your fingers.
I hear some people say that they should also use their body. Is that correct?
That is true, yeah. If you watch like classical concert pianists, they're always playing like this, right?
How do we imagine using our body to play?
You can imagine the way your body would move in certain points of the music, right? If you're playing like a really, really heavy, hard-hitting passage, you're like on the piano like this, right? You're like attacking the piano. But if you're playing like a light, nice little moving passage, like elegant, you just sort of like...
And this is my body playing the flow.
Yeah, definitely playing the flow.
Right, so we're using our body to actually play the piano.
Exactly. Like I mentioned, it depends on the piece, it depends on the passage, right? If you have a very driving passage, your body would want to generally lean into it, right? Honestly, a lot of times when you play, you do... Here, let me try. Right, a lot of times you do want to lean forward a little more. So you're kind of feeling it. It's a bit hard to explain like how to imagine it. You just have to like
I know how to imagine it.
How do you imagine it?
Let me sit down. What we need to start imagining is the piano is not the true instrument. You know what the true instrument is? You and the piano. Aww. If you're playing without your whole body, it means the instrument is two parts for it to be the instrument. If you're hitting the drum with only the head and not the stick, it'd be like, that's not the right sound. Right? So you need to use the stick and the head, and of course you. These two instruments combined make the sound.
Yeah.
So when you're playing only with your fingers, it's like you're playing with just the head of the stick and not the entire stick. So we need to make sure that we're fully activating both of these instruments to play the music.
To practice it, you can just try flowing yourself with whatever you're playing, right? Maybe exaggerate it at first so you know what it feels like. And if it starts to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm moving too much, this passage does not call for this much movement, then tone it back.
Let me try it on Pirates
We do
here.
things differently here. We don't sell courses and we don't hide great coaching behind paywalls because everything we teach on this channel stays completely free and that's never changing. If you want to help keep it that way, join our YouTube memberships where you'll get access to our private community, member perks, and you'll be directly supporting free education for people everywhere.
Well, that actually made my Pirates a lot better.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is the most dynamic I've ever heard you play that.
Dynamic, I was pressing notes correct and it felt so effortless.
It felt more flowing, exactly.
I taught myself that just now. Okay, Pitfall number 5. So wait, you actually prepared this as not developing sight reading skills. This is, important, but I'm actually gonna change it to something I feel is even more important based on the previous points we just covered. Not positioning yourself correctly on the piano. This is actually so important. And one thing I realized is that in the previous points, when we're playing with the body, if your seat is too high, too low, if you're not in the right place, too far, too close, you can't actually activate your body to play on the piano.
Okay, that makes sense.
So this is actually huge. It's huge. What is the correct positioning to play on the piano? How should it feel? Show us.
Okay, so that's actually a good point. I didn't think about that because I do it naturally every time. Because I move the chair every time before I sit. But yeah, generally you want to have, obviously able to reach the pedal, right? You want your leg to be ideally maybe around 90 degrees, maybe a little more.
So for example, like let's say playing the piano, right? You don't actually have to play it, but you could say, if we're pressing on top of the piano, how can we press down as much as possible with our whole body?
That's true.
So
if I'm saying too far, I can't.
Too far you can't, right?
Really
and what happens if you sit too close?
Too close, I'm like, I have nowhere to go. So I'd rather be like at this medium point. Yeah, okay.
So that's actually a really good exercise to find out your correct position is how do you activate your whole body onto the piano?
Yeah.
If you guys have any questions, make sure you comment down below. Like, comment, subscribe, and check out the next video over here.